What's up, guys? Welcome back to Code Family. This is Vashish, and in this video, we are going to learn some of the basics of Redux. Basically, we are going to convert this use state increment decrement project into a Redux project. Before going to this project, I would like to explain you some of the things of Redux, that how actually Redux works. Basically, Redux is a state management library which used to manage all the states of our project. It has a separate store where we can have all our states and actions we can store there, and whichever component need that particular state or action, we can simply call them and get that value and perform any one of the actions. The main advantage of Redux is that we can easily maintain all the states, like we can change the state from any component, and this helps us to manage all kind of actions and states those are there inside our project. So in Redux we uses an action, a reducer, a state. uh, let's see how we do this with Redux. We don't need this use state, so remove this from this project and this also. Now we just need to make an action file where we are going to address all the actions that are going to be used in our project. So let's create an action.js. In this file we are going to have all kind of actions that are going to be performed. Inside the action file, we have to define the two actions. The first one here is increment. So right here const increment equal to, and then arrow function syntax, and inside that we just need to return the type of the function. So right here return, and inside that we just need to define the type of this function. So this function type is increment, and we just this is a kind of string, so we just need to define like that. And after that, and now we just need to create the decrement action. So what is going on here? Get decrement, and this is also decrement. What is the error? Okay, so now we have to export this function so that we can use inside the reducers. If your project is very large, then you can create as many as actions that are going to be used in your project in this file. And after that we have to create our reducer. So reducer.js, and here let's create our reducer function, which is we're going to create a reducer function that will increase and decrease the number. So what should be the function name? That can be change sorry const change number, and then it will have a state and an action. Like we discussed in our previous videos, that a reducer is a pure function which receives state and action and return a particular state. So right here with the arrow function syntax, that okay, so here we have to define the switch case structure. Switch, we will discuss in our previous videos, that we just need to define here the action type. Whatever type of action that the user will send while dispatching, it will receive that in the action, and in the switch it will have the type of that particular action, and then it will compare that particular type with all its cases, and whatever the case is matched with it, it will perform that particular case. So right here for first case, that is increment. If a user passes an action that is known as increment, then what we have to perform here? We have to perform like state plus 1. And after that, and if a user want to perform a decrement operation, then we just need to define here like decrement, and then we just need to return the state minus 1. And also we have to define a default case for switch case. So default will be if nothing will happen, then it will return the particular state. So return state. Now, one thing I would like to tell you that if your project is a complex project and you have a lot of functions like changing number, updating the user data, add to cart kind of functionalities, then you may have a lot of reducer functions. So uh, first of all, you have to combine all the reducers, and then you have to pass these root reducer in which all the reducers are combined. This root reducer function you have to pass inside the store. So I am combining the reducer in one file, but in case you are having multiple number of reducers, you can create a reducer folder where all the reducers are there, and you can create a combination folder where you can only import all the reducers and later on combine them. So here I am doing in one file, so I just need to import here, import combine reducers, and below I just need to make a root reducer so that I can have all the reducers inside one reducer. So I need to define here const the root reducer, and then I just need to combine all the reducers. And but we have only one reducer in our project, so I just need to write here change the number. If you have multiple numbers of reducers, you can write like you have another reducer like add to cart, and then update user. You can write like this, but for our case we just have the change number reducer. Now we just need to export it so that we can import it in our store file. So let's create a store file here where we are going to create the store for our Redux project. So right here store.js, and inside that we just have to create the store. And how we can do that? By importing the create store function. So import create store. Okay, let's add the curly braces, and from Redux. And after that, what we need to do is now we need to import the root reducer, and after that we just need to create our store. So const store equal to create store, and inside that we just need to pass our root reducer. So now a store will be created, and we just need to export it so that we can use it in our index.js. So now your store is created. What we have done till now is in the action.js file we define all kind of actions that are needed for our project, and then inside the reducer file we are first define all kind of reducer functions, and after that we are combine all the reducer functions into one, which is known as root reducer. And after that inside the store.js we are creating a store by the function create store, and inside that we are passing the root reducer so that our store will be created. Now we are going to use this store inside our app.js. Before that, we just need to go to our index.js file and we just need to import store from uh, okay from okay, one thing you could do here is we just need to have this store and reducer and action inside the source file so that it will be easy for us, and store will be inside the, and let's add the path of store. So store will be this, and what is the error? Store is defined but never be used. Yeah, now we are going to use the store. Before that, we just need to import another thing which is known as provider from react-redux. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to provide our store to the app component so that all the child components of app can use the store and access the state and the actions. So here we just need to define, so right here the provider component here, provider, and we just need to wrap our app inside the provider. And now inside the provider we have to pass the store as a prop. So store, okay, what is wrong with it? store. So everything is fine, I think. Let's see. I know nothing gonna happen because we have not completed our project, and now we have created a particular data layer by which the app component and its all child component can access the store. So let's go into the app component, and here, okay, let's erase it, these things. And these things also. I'm going to tell you that what we need to define here. Before that, to access and call the functionalities and get the state of the store, we have to import two hooks. First one is use dispatch, and the second one is use selector. Use dispatch is for calling the action, and use selector is for getting the state. So let's get the state first. So now we have to define the selector, the use selector. So right here const whatever it is. In my case, I am taking the number. I am taking the variable name as number, and after that not use dispatch, use selector. And in this we are going to access the state. So state implies state dot. Now what we are going to access is we are want to access the state of the reducer. And let me see what we're gonna doing here, what we should write here so that we can access the state of the reducer. So let's go to store. In store we are passing the root reducer, so let's go to root reducer. Inside the root reducer we are having only one reducer, that is change the number. And if we pass the change the number, then we can access the state of the change the number. So we just gonna mention here change number. What is an error? Before going to that, we have to initialize state here. So inside the uh, reducer, we just need to define the initial state first, like const initial state will be 0, and here we have to pass the initial state. Okay, parsing error object token. Yeah. So and now just go to app.jsx. In this statement, we are having the initial state of change number reducer into the number. And now make the use dispatch function const dispatch equal to use dispatch and call the function so that the functionality of use dispatch will come to dispatch. And now, and how we can call the actions. Before that, we just need to import the actions. So let's just go to action.js. So first function, so first action here is increment. So we just need to import increment and decrement in app.jsx. So import and then increment, comma, decrement from action. Now we are importing increment and decrement actions from action.js. Now we just need to call the increment and decrement. Before that, now here we can't call this increment function directly. We have to call it like dispatch, and inside that increment. Inside the decrement, inside the dispatch, it will call the increment, and after calling the increment, it will what is the action? It will return the increment type. And after that this action and this action will trigger, and inside that we have our switch case. Here it will check the action dot type, and then it will matches with this increment case, and it will return the state plus 1, and in this way our state will increase by 1. In the same way, inside the app.jsx, if we write dispatch and copy it, and here decrement, then what will happen? If we write dispatch then decrement, then it will call the decrement function. So it will call the decrement function. Here it will return the object called type decrement, and then inside the app.js dispatch will call the type decrement, and and inside the dispatch the type will becomes decrement, and this dispatch function triggers the reducers this action, and inside that we have our switch case, and inside this action dot type we have received decrement. So it will compare with all these cases, and it matches with the second case, and then it will return this particular state, which is state -1, and in this way our state will be decreased. So I think our project is over now. Let's see it is working or not. So refresh it, try to increment, it is increasing and it is decreasing. And let's check the console if any error in this console. Okay, it is requesting us to download the React tool so that we can see the states and actions graphically. I will make a video on it later on, but for now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, and we will meet in our next video. Till then, keep coding, man. Bye bye.